Hello, and welcome to another edition of the TheinsiderDEWclusive. I hope you guys are ready for another fun, jam-packed, and hopefully not too long this time around, interesting episode of all of our exclusive adventures with Mountain Dew. So we're actually tackling another exclusive flavor. But this one, surprisingly enough, doesn't have a lot of history behind it in terms of, like, the making of the flavor. But rather, it has some weird history involving, like, the speculation if this thing ever existed or not. Yeah, this one's a doozy. Let me give you a brief recap. So, there's a flavor that came out to one of the tried and true good old-fashioned American bald eagle cheeseburger, Harley Davidson, God I love this country, monster truck riding, American flag waving, Statue of Liberty viewing, Chicago deep dish having, New York visiting having, super softball, baseball, football, sports having, Super Bowl eating, nacho dipping, hot dog competition eating, Star Spangled, Statue of Liberty riding a Harley Davidson having, Super Independence, 4th of July, firework having, grilled cheese having, Donald Trump having, Joe Biden having, firework, guns a-blazing, Second Amendment having, God-given 100% grade A beef country, yeehaw, Alabama having, supermarket places of all time. We're, of course, talking about Walmart, because, you know, America. And, well, Walmarts don't really exist in my timeline or my reality. We have 24-hour markets, but, you know, they're under different names and branches and stuff. And on top of that, I was told that your guys' Walmarts aren't 24 hours anymore after a recent event happened in your guys' timeline. That was not fun. Anyhow, so of course, today we're going to be discussing the, I guess, peculiar speculation, is what we'll call it, of Mountain Dew Frostbite. Slap that logo somewhere on here. Maybe over here somewhere. You know, put it like right there. Somewhere around this area. That'll do it. So, what is Frostbite? Well, Frostbite is a Walmart exclusive flavor that was released all the way back officially in March 23rd, 2020 as a permanent flavor. Now, why is Mountain Dew Frostbite interesting? Well, believe it or not, for something that's the most actually relatively calm and basic of flavors, it's got a weird speculation-like lore behind it. So, Frostbite is described as a burst of icy refreshment and cool melon. So it's supposed to be a lot cooler compared to other Mountain Dews, but it's got a very distinct melon flavor. And on top of that, it's got a cobalt kind of blue hue to it, as y'all can see. So it's very, very, like, almost a dark blue. Almost similar to that of 2017's Game Fuel Arctic Burst, and a few other flavors in the past. So, also kind of similar to Mountain Dew Blue Shock and Mountain Dew Honeydew, which, yes, we will discuss at some point on this series. But why is this a weird one? So, this all started because, as you guys know, a lot of Mountain Dew flavors and a lot of different concoctions with Mountain Dew either tend to get rumored about online, leaked about online. You know, people on social media will do like press coverage of it. There'll be big events for certain flavors. It's all one big advertising. And you've even got people like, again, Team Supernova, Marky Devo, Soda Seekers, bunch of other like Facebook, Twitter, sort of social media like junk food connoisseurs that will come in and report on like insider first exclusive look leak and this of this flavor. It might get made, it might not get made. We don't normally typically comment too much on leaks and speculations of flavors in this series because that's not what this is about. But the history behind it is weird. See, it all got leaked on a Discord called the Dew Drinker Discord back in late 2019. However, the community and moderation team prevented the leaks spread as much as possible, both to prevent the drink's launch from potentially getting canceled, similar to what happened to some other flavors, as well as for the safety of the leakers and people involved in parties. Then, somewhere around January 15th, 2020, on a Mountain Dew Reddit forum in a post, Frostbite was leaked by an actual PepsiCo employee. Not going to say who that name is, but still. Showing an advertisement of the actual 16.9 ounce bottle itself of Frostbite, which he had later received as a 20 ounce test sample. After a while, the employee gave a statement about the release, talked about it a bit more, mentioning it would be exclusive to Walmart, and mentioning a potential release date of April 2020. Well, it was slightly off, as it actually showed up early. It was officially released to Walmart stores across the good old US of A America on March 23rd, 2020 as a permanent flavor. It's still sold in 12 packs, 24 packs, 16.9 ounces in multi-packs, and in 20-ounce sidekick bottles to this day. Now, a year later, though, a second leak happened. On January 2021, can't English, a smart label listing for a zero sugar version was leaked. And a few days after a leak, it was confirmed by a Pepsi employee that it was planned to be released sometime in April 2021 and would be available in 12 packs and 20-ounce bottles. A week later, another leak showed up on a Facebook group saying that it was officially set for March 22nd, 2021. However, it really wasn't in stock for that long. As in mid-2023, a lot of people speculated that Frostbite Zero Sugar was discontinued without a lot of people even knowing about it. And to be fair, Frostbite Zero Sugar never really even fully released to the public, as it was only in select markets, which was weird. So only select markets and select Walmarts had the Zero Sugar version. But see, here's where the weird theory comes in. If you're going to partner up with a major retail company like, say, Walmart, right? Weren't both parties, including PepsiCo, Mountain Dew, and Walmart, have the funds and the ability to make a zero sugar version nationwide instead of just in select markets? Seems a little odd, if you ask me. Or just a little mishandled. Who knows? But regardless, it was confirmed in October 2023 that it had been discontinued and so forth. Now, at the time, this was actually also the third retail exclusive. Not for Walmart, but just in general. With the first one being a re-release of Typhoon from 2011, which used to be a Walmart exclusive, until they re-released Typhoon again years later. We'll discuss that at some point too. Then, the second exclusive at the time being the Dollar General Maui Burst, which again, we will cover and discuss at some point too. So, Frostbite has a little bit of a weird speculation legacy to it, because it wasn't about what the product tasted like that people were curious about. They were just wondering if this thing even existed. And I think it was a little mishandled. But that's just me. So, but how does it taste? Well, we've got a little footage we're going to show you of us actually making the trek to Walmart, trying it out, and then reporting back. Also, be warned, by the way, before you watch this footage, we shot this outside. It was very windy that day, so some of the audio quality of the footage is going to be a little not great. So we have tried to fix up the audio as much as possible from an editing standpoint, but there's not much that can be done. So you're just going to have to either be careful with your audio, or if you're wearing headphones, just plan accordingly. This is your warning ahead of time. So, anyhow, with that in mind, let's take a look at Frostbite.
Well, howdy there, everybody. We made it to the holy cornerstone of every single redneck Midwestern, sanctuary of the world. We're talking the one and only, the pride and true, the American born and raised, and favorite of mine, at least in this timeline, Walmart. That's right, look at it. It's so beautiful. It's truly a blessing with God. Even with their American flag, it truly is such an outstanding place to be. And we're here to not only pick up a few things today, but we're on the hunt for a very TheinsiderDEWclusive flavor. So, now, I know, believe it or not, that this has been out for a while, but we're looking for something to really make a bite with summer. You'll see what we mean when we start to get a little frosty later today. See you soon. Well, we're back, and I managed to find and procure the interesting Walmart exclusive flavor that they came out with a few years back. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mountain Dew Frostbite. So, it looks pretty good, and from what Crash told me, he remembered when he tried it, it was kind of almost like a little bit of just kind of a muted flavor of dew, with like a little bit of like melon flavor. So not watermelon, because that's major melon, but specifically just regular melon flavor. So with that in mind, we're gonna do 2 taste tests. One of it completely uncut here at the Walmart, and then the second one we're gonna try a sip of it when we get back to the ship. And we're going to try it on ice and see how it is. So, we're going to see how that goes and go from there. So, with that in mind, open this thing up. Let's take a small swig and see how it is. And this one was actually easy to procure, by the way. It was in like every fridge, by the way. So, I didn't film myself, going to grab it in the fridge, but it was like pretty easy to find. So, yeah, no, that's pretty accurate. I imagine tasting like a fresh sort of like summer melon that you would get on like a hot day. It's got a little bit of a muted taste to it for sure, like he said. It does pop out for sure. Like, it's the first thing that definitely hits your taste buds. Plus, you know, all that sugar. So, but other than that, yeah, it's like kind of a small taste of dew, but with melon. So, and it's supposed to be kind of a cooler taste too, which I can kind of taste, but it's a bit more of like a colder melon. Something that you would eat again like at a picnic, so to speak. So, or maybe, you know, you got some swamp coolers and you're out, you know, in the woods with some buddies or going fishing. This would probably be a decent flavor to go with. So, anyhow, we'll be back with the final part where we cut forward to me trying it back at the ship. So, I'll talk to y'all here in a bit. Well, hi everybody, and once again we have another DEWclusive, and for this DEWclusive flavor we had to go to a particular giant conglomerate. I wonder which one it was. So, but regardless, we made it, we got there, and luckily the one next to where I live actually had their exclusive flavor in stock. Now, there is a zero sugar version, and I would have preferred to bought that, or I believe they're working on a zero sugar version as we speak, but either way, sometimes in order to craft and work hard when you're dealing with the wet, the cold, the windy, and strange in between, you tend to get a little frostbite, or at least you get bitten back. And thus, that's how this one began. Hello. So, we're gonna take a little taste test of this guy. Now, unfortunately, like I said, I wish they had the zero sugar version, but they don't. So, we're gonna crack this guy open. We're gonna take a quick little sip. See if I can open it. Now, full disclosure, I've had this flavor before, I've tried it before, but it has been a long time since I've tried it. So, with that in mind, we're only going to take a small sip or two just because, unfortunately, the carbs in the sugar are not that great. So, with that in mind, cheers! Yeah, it's about as much as I remember it. It's a very melon flavored dew. And I don't mean that in terms of like a watermelon or a special type of like melon berry flavor. I mean that in terms of like it's just regular dew but with a strong melon flavor. So we're gonna take one more crack at it. And you see the bottle. The bottle's really cool. Yeah, just a melon dew. So, now, what would I rate it? honestly, maybe like 5 out of 10. It's not my favorite Dew flavors out of the Dew-exclusives, but it's not bad. I just wish it had a little more taste and kick to it. But if you really like specifically like a strong like ocean summer melon flavor, you're gonna like it. Now this one you can only find at Walmart, and I believe there is a zero sugar version or a zero sugar one coming out. So for people like me who are restricted, you can have it, which is great. I like that Mountain Dew's coming out with more zero sugar versions. But with that in mind, that's it for this Dew-exclusive. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hey y'all, we're back. So, we're nearing the end of the episode. And, well, after my little adventure, I managed to secure a delicious bottle of Mountain Dew Frostbite. Well, from what I was told, it's supposed to have a very interesting melon flavor. And as you saw, we already tried it, without ice. But now we gotta put it to the real test. Let's put it on ice and see if that melon flavor really does come out, or if it's more of just a regular Dew flavor that comes out. Either way, let's snug our head in nice and tight, and let's hope this definitely gives us that nice, pleasant, cool feeling. And as always, we try it in our Mountain Dew glass. Now, unfortunately, too, this thing is loaded to the brim with sugar, and they don't make a zero sugar version. So, for safety precautionary reasons, we're only going to do a small sip. Cheers. There you go. It's got a nice, very blue tinted color like some of the other previous flavors we've mentioned in the past. But let's definitely give it a taste and see how it is, shall we? Yeah, you know what? It does pop out a little bit more. Whew. Man, that feels so much better. Let me tell you. Whew. So much better. You know what? Just for that, I may have to switch over to my Mountain Dew beanie just to stay nice and toasty. Ah. Much better. Ah, that feels good. Nice and cozy. But yes, no, believe it or not, that actually does have a much nicer, prominent flavor when it comes to the melon flavor compared to, say, the Dew flavor that's in it, which is not a bad thing. You're going to see a lot of flavors coming up over the next few episodes, and even other Mountain Dew flavors and other Mountain Dew things where, believe it or not, the prominent flavor or the prominent feature of that flavor is better the taste than the citrus lime kind of flavor that is Dew. So, but overall, not bad. Pretty good if I say so myself in my nice Mountain Dew glass. Ah, and just the right amount of caffeine too. 91 milligrams for a whole bottle, which is not too bad. But unfortunately, this thing is loaded to the brim with carbs and sugar. And I mean a lot. As you can tell. It's got over 76 milligrams of carbs And on top of that, at least 76 grams of sugar with an extra included 76 grams of sugar, making this over 152% amount of sugar. So this thing has a lot of sugar. So if you're going to be drinking it, maybe drink it in moderation. So, but with that in mind, that does it for this episode of Mountain Dew Frostbite. Or at least this episode of the TheinsiderDEWclusive with Mountain Dew Frostbite. So, I'm going to stay nice and warm and toasty and get underneath the covers and relax for a little bit. So, I recommend you all do the same. Until next time. Hey, Dewey.
Yeah, you doing? How you doing?
Funny.
Yeah, I know. It sounded pretty funny in my head when I thought about it.
Huh, how you doing? No, seriously, how you holding up? I'm alright. Just ended, filming and editing the new episode, so...
What's the matter? You sound a little bummed out.
Well, it's just... I kept thinking about, you know, how all these exclusives keep showing up and appearing out of nowhere. Right. And, you know, I kept thinking too about, like, what exactly is it that makes all these flavors, you know, so exclusive to begin with?
Well, kind of hard to say. I mean, some of them are, you know, gas station exclusives, from what Crash has told me. Some of them are restaurant exclusives. Some of them are even dollar store exclusives and convenience store exclusives. Some of them even are like big box retail place exclusives. So, and you're only just scratching the surface on like a lot of them. So, and I mean, look, they probably don't even compare to some of the flavors in your original Lifeline or Timeline. Yeah, about that. I still want to figure out why I was sent here and why I'm still here. Well, I mean, part of it's probably because you're still, you know, covering everything and, you know, discussing everything involving Mountain Dew. Well, yeah, there's that. Part of it is probably because maybe the universe plucked you out of one timeline for a reason to give you a stronger sense of purpose and, you know, help out around here, so to speak, and maybe take on the mantle as kind of a Mountain Dew ambassador, if you will. Yeah, that's true. Plus, I mean, think of all the misadventures you've been on so far. You know, I mean, just with this alone, you took on the wind itself when it came to a cold, windy day to grab some frostbite. You managed to uncover the deep, sunken treasure and uncover an even somewhat bigger mystery behind not only Baja Deep Dive, but Mountain Dew Pitch Black. And you even tackled the infernal flames itself of spice with regular and with lime, spicy, flaming hot Mountain Dew. That's true. That is true. So, it's just, I didn't realize all these misadventures would be so crazy, wild, chaotic, unnerving. Yeah, how do you two do it? What do you mean? How do you two do it? Like, just all these misadventures and stuff. How do you keep such a poker face?
Oh, we panic just like everyone else. I mean, that's not the issue. Oh no, we freak out just as much too. It's just... I think for me, my original timeline, I never wanted to even be there anymore because I didn't have much left. So I wanted to go somewhere new. And I manifested all my life as a kid, as a teenager, as a young adult, some form or some sort of change, some sort of positive influence, or just some sort of escapism in my life. And then I met Hanako. And for me, I was the opposite. I chased people down all across the multiverse, across the galaxy. I've gone from planet to planet, galaxy to galaxy. I've done all these things for years as a intergalactic, police officer and investigator. And the one person who I couldn't catch, I could never catch. So there was a part of me that just, at some point, just gave up. But everything changed because I managed to find peace, tranquility, and a sense of foundation and grounding in Crash, where everything changed when I met, John. Yeah, so maybe you're here for a reason to find your purpose, I suppose. Still, thank you. I needed that little pep talk. Of course, no problem. Yeah, anytime. So, thank you. Yeah. And hey, you're doing a good job. Thank you. You know what? I really needed that. And that sparks an idea in mind for the next episode. I wonder